Hi, welcome to Revenue Marketing Television, the CMO Insights series. I am your host, Jeff Pedowitz, President and CEO of Pedowitz Group. Today, I have with us as our guest, Will Wiegler, who is Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer at SpringCM. Will, welcome to the show.
Great. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, it's been trying to get you on for a while, so glad you can make it this afternoon. So, Will, I've known you for a while, and you've been a CMO for a while. To you, what are some of the biggest changes you've seen in the last couple of years?
I think that the impact that marketing has on a business has really grown or has the potential to be really large in an organization. Marketing can really drive growth in ways that go beyond how folks thought about marketing in the past, which may have been, doing some events and making data sheets and, coming up with some clever campaigns. But now, through the use of technology and tools and just sort of being more aware of how marketing impacts a business, we can drive real change in the business. We can drive measurable results. We can do a lot of different kinds of activities and programs in a business that really helps move the business forward. And I find that I'm brought into discussions on all levels of the business, whether it's with the product team or the sales team or the customer success team. I think marketing can have a huge impact across an organization. And I think that's probably recognized more now than ever before.
Do you find that with some of these changes, marketing needs to be run more like a business than it was before?
I do. I think of marketing as a business. I think of the marketing that we do in our company as a business within our larger organizations, and I think of that in a couple different ways. First of all, like any business, we are delivering products and services, and we are delivering those products and services to customers, and our internal customers are people like our sales team, our customer success team, our executive team, and really most departments within the company. But then we also have external customers that we serve, to whom we are delivering the marketing. And that includes our prospects, as you would expect, but also our customers and our partners and even our internal audience. I think about how I market internally in the company. So like with any business, you want to make sure you're delivering the right product to the right audience. So that's one way of thinking about it as a business. But also, like any business, you have to measure results, and you have to make sure that you have respectable, acceptable ROI on the spend that you do. And so we measure the impact of all the programs we do against the costs. So for example, if we're investing $10,000 in an event sponsorship, I want to see a multiple of that in terms of new pipeline or influence pipeline or new revenue added to the company. Some of it's really easy to measure. Some of it's really challenging, but we attempt to measure it all.
So does your boss hold you accountable for those metrics?
Yeah. And I basically set most of the targets myself. I look at what I think we can achieve, and I set a goal for it. And we talk about that with the team. What are we trying to accomplish? How do we measure that we've really delivered on the programs that we're doing? And I report that to our executive team. I report that to our board, and I share that with teams across the company. I want everybody to understand the impact that marketing is having and the value that we're really delivering to the business.
So, and that's awesome. Of course, I was going to expect you to say nothing else because I've known you for a while. So tell me a little bit about your approach to developing talent compared to, say, 4 or 5 years ago. What kind of people do you look for, and are you structuring your organization any differently today?
So I have a it's a pretty small team of really talented people, and each person has a distinct role and area of specialization and responsibility, but we also work collaboratively as a team, and we really do partner on most of the things that we work on. And really for me, that's just how I like to manage a team. And so that's been the way I've run it across multiple companies that I've run marketing, where I've run marketing. But we also, as a team, we always ask ourselves, how can we do better? Whether it's a webinar or a social campaign or a partner program, we always stop and say, how can we take this to the next level the next time we do this? And who else on the team can add value and what other resources can we bring in to kind of accelerate the impact of the programs that we're doing and make ourselves stand out. You know, everything we do these days is competitive. We're in competitive spaces. There's lots of noise and people vying for the attention of every single person we're trying to communicate with. So we need to make what we do stand out. And so I find that together the team is really smart, way smarter than any one of us individually. So we make sure we lean on each other and we push each other hard.
That's
and
awesome.
That really helps everybody develop.
So are there certain personality traits that you look for when you look for these people?
Well, I look for creative people. I look for people who have some experience doing what they're doing, but maybe not exactly the things they're going to be doing with our team. But I want to see examples of how they have successfully driven programs in whatever role they're in. I want to see how well they play with others. You know, what's their network like? What's the feedback of people who have worked with them before? I think, frankly, the skill set are things that you can develop if you start with the right, you know, kind of core foundation. But the ability to be part of the culture and fit in and work well together, that's something that is really hard to change if the person's not wired that way. So we look for really great collaborative, creative people.
So from a process standpoint, are there certain areas that you're focusing more on today?
So we are always looking to improve our processes. We're always looking to ask ourselves, how can we do something better? We stop periodically and we kind of do check-ins to see, can we do something differently? Can we do something better? Can we do something that moves the needle in a different way? One of the things that we do is, you know, we know that whatever we're doing today may or may not work today, but it certainly is not going to be the same situation 6 months from now or a year from now. Things change quickly, and we always have to look at how do we innovate and how do we take processes to different places than we've relied on in the past. So I'll give you an example. We had a marketing offsite meeting, and we talked about the things that have been successful for us so far. You know, what's moving the needle? Where are we getting our really qualified leads? How are we developing new relationships? And we did an exercise called the end of the world. And this was actually suggested by one of my talented team members, Katie Gutwein. So shout out to Katie. And she said, let's do this exercise where we say, well, what if the things we do today stopped working or just weren't available anymore? What would we do differently? What could we do differently? So one of the things we looked at was inbound marketing. Inbound marketing is a great source of opportunities for us. We attract a lot of interested prospects because of the content we put out there and the marketing programs that we do. So the way we typically convert an inbound marketing lead is through a landing page and a web form. Somebody gives us their information and we reach out and we begin a conversation. Well, what if that stopped? What if that went away? What if people just stopped saying, I'm willing to give you my information anymore? Like what would we do with that? How would we convert people on our website? And so we started trying some new programs. We put in, for example, an automated chatbot on our website that uses some artificial intelligence combined with some real connections with live people, but in a way that starts a conversation with somebody while they're on the website. And we've actually used that now to create a number of meetings with prospects who never even got to a landing page on our website.
Wow.
So that was an example of where we said, okay, we're going to innovate and get ahead of the challenges before they are even a challenge for us, right? Web forms still work. They're not going away. We're not taking them off our website. They're still converting with great numbers. But we said, what more can we do that's outside of the realm?
Love that. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people now playing around with chatbots and online chat, and not even just on their website, but they're using chatbots and multiple communities and social sites to drive additional engagement and communicate right at the point of engagement, whatever the channel might be. So,
yeah, and that's really the ideal. You know, if you can get a conversation with somebody when they're showing some interest and kind of lead them to the content that really is most valuable to them specifically, that's gold.
So just curious, what are your thoughts on the Martech Evolution, Revolution, and how are you strategically using technology within SpringCM?
Yeah, good question. And I think marketing technology is essential to how we work today. I don't think a marketing person can really be competitive without relying on some technology to help them do their jobs. So we build on two major platforms for our marketing technology, and nothing unusual here, but we rely on Salesforce and we rely on HubSpot. And Salesforce is used across our marketing and sales organizations and throughout much of the company. And it's where we track and measure the impact that we can have on sales. And we can follow the leads through the opportunity cycle, through the customer cycle, and use that as kind of a baseline for all of our data. And then we use HubSpot, and it's the platform on which we build our inbound marketing programs. And we're really big on inbound. So we work to create compelling content and resources that create the demand for our products. And HubSpot gives us many tools to kind of run those programs. When I joined SpringCM in March of 2017, we had those two platforms in place, but frankly, they weren't really working that well together. There was a lot of data that wasn't syncing very well, and there was inconsistency between the two platforms, and I saw this as an opportunity for improvement, and we spent a lot of time and resources looking at how do we make that platform the best we can and the most accurate and streamlined, and make sure that the data flows and flows correctly and we don't lose anything through the cracks. And that's made a big difference in our ability to now run campaigns, track the effectiveness of them, and measure more of the impact that we're having.
That's great. And I love the focus on simplicity. I feel like too many marketers get overwhelmed with just the sheer amount of choices and options that are out there.
Right. And there's other tools we use for very sort of specific use cases. And frankly, the marketing stack, technology stack has become so complex in the marketplace in general. And I am every week getting calls from companies who sell amazing products to try and help me take marketing to the next level. And I could spend all my time evaluating them, or I could just kind of hunker down and try and do what we do and do it really well. And when we feel we have a need, we look out there and say, what's out there that helps us fill that need?
Good approach. So let's talk about customers for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone's been enamored lately about the customer experience. I'm not exactly sure why, because it seems like that's something every business should be doing. But what's the difference between customer service and customer focus in building a better customer experience overall?
So we approach the customer experience very holistically. And I think about that before they become customers, all the way through to the time when they are renewing with us, or even, if they choose to leave, or through an acquisition, they're no longer a customer. All of the different ways we can touch these individuals and become a valuable partner for them. So marketing takes a very active role in that. And it's not just, when I think of customer service, I think, how do I help a customer implement the software, or how do I help them when they have challenges and they need answers? And that's part of the experience, but it's only a part of the experience. So we recently launched a new online community, customer community, and we actually released it at our recent user conference that we held in Chicago. It's called Spring Forward, and we did kind of a inaugural launch of this. So it's still pretty new. But we built it because there were a number of resources for our customers that were not well connected. They were kind of scattered. Not all customers knew about all the different resources. And we wanted a way, and this was something we heard from our customers, they wanted a way to connect with each other, learn from each other, learn use cases from each other. And we want to listen. We want to engage with our customers in ways that help us build better products that meet their needs and their, what they need to run their business as well. So we launched this online community. I have a member of my marketing team, Christy Cox, so shout out to Christy here, who is our customer marketing manager. And Christy spearheaded this project along with our customer success team to launch this community. Christy has become the community manager and facilitator, and we have brought a lot of different assets together, and we're continuing to build it, but we've already seen great engagement from our customer community.
I love that. That's a really great story of rethinking the entire journey and focusing on it. So what advice would you give to a young professional that has aspirations of being a CMO?
CMO. First of all, it's a wonderful position. I love my job, and I love the fact that I get to see so many different aspects of the business, as well as what we do in marketing. So to be an effective CMO, I think you really have to understand many of the aspects of what a marketing team does. Not that you have to have the complete expertise and be able to step into any role, but at least understand what is digital marketing about. What are websites and how do you measure the impact of them? What are all the different kinds of programs you can do? There's a lot of aspects to what we do, but I don't need to do them all. I hire great people who then help us make everything successful. But I also have to understand the business and the business of marketing and the business of our company and how what we do impacts the growth of our organization. And that's everything from the ARR that we generate to the renewals that we get through our customers, the branding that we put out there, the messaging, how we relate to partners, understand enough about the financials to be able to intelligently share information with a board of directors and be able to hold your own at the table. So it's a pretty well-rounded kind of position, and frankly, I love what I do.
I think that's probably a good message for any professional, right? Love what you do.
I think that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Well, Will, thank you so much for being on the program today. Always insightful. So really enjoyed having you. Thank you again.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet.